The zombies eating kids in school evolved from apps on their smartphones. And the one kid bullied for not having a phone just learned the first rule of survival in hell. He wants to die. That's Kirigane Rakudo's final thought, standing atop the skyscraper. The verbal abuse from his adoptive parents, his brother Sarato's cruel taunts, the classmates who look at him like trash, all the torment plays in his mind like a film reel. This rotten life? Might as well just reset it. Home. His home is just a dumpster. His adoptive father kicks him while yelling, "Who raised you in place of your dead parents?" Even breathing feels like a crime here. Every heartbeat just adds another reason for their cruelty. Back at home, that white-haired demon Serato is waiting. "My bad, Rakudo," he says with a fake smile, dumping liquid on the floor near his feet. "Let me help," he adds, patting Rakudo's shoulder. "Aren't I kind?" This isn't help. It's pure humiliation and a clear warning. School is another layer of hell. His desk is graffitied with words like trash and die. Serato offers fake sympathy. It's only when the teacher demands to know who did it that Rakudo places a bouquet of daisies on his chest, the symbol of normal life, and sneers, "Shitty school." Desperate times reveal the devils around you. The bullies, led by Takeda, corner him on the street for 2,000 yen. This time, Rakudo doesn't kneel. His bottled-up rage explodes, sending one thug flying. But reality isn't a shonen manga. Outnumbered, he's beaten down. Worthless. Takeda's words shred whatever dignity he had left. The final straw comes with a crunch. As he lies on the ground, a passing brown-haired boy accidentally steps on his already cracked phone, shattering it. "Sorry, my foot slipped," he says casually. That's it. The last flicker of light in Rakudo's life dies with the phone. An insignificant side character, less valuable than a broken screen. Clutching the shattered phone, Rakudo returns to the school grounds. This isn't a dream. It's all just rotten. Classmates play and laugh under the sunset, and he's a spectator in hell. Enough, he thinks. This shitty game is over. He grips the fence. His self-authored ending isn't a happy one. It's a game over screen. He jumps. Wind screams past his ears. It's all over. Living is a pain. For a moment, free-falling, the pain feels left behind. A blue data vortex erupts around him. Not the ground, but an unknown abyss. But just as he's about to hit game over, the entire world crashes simultaneously. A digital storm explodes over the city. Every smartphone glows, sparks, and dies. What's going on? My phone. This isn't a glitch. It's the opening act of Judgment Day. Rakudo hits the ground, but he's alive. Dazed, he sees phones twisting in purple lightning. Lightning under a clear sky. Then, an invisible force slams into him. Whack. This dream starts showing its true, hideous face. Judgment is here. The dead phones become hatching grounds. Goblins, orcs, data spawn horrors crawl out. Students laughing in hallways one moment are screaming, fleeing sacrifices the next. RUN. Civilized society? Shattered in a second. Hell on earth. Monsters tear, slash, slaughter. Rakudo watches as Takeda, his tormentor, gets trampled like trash. He watches teachers and students get torn apart. Covered in blood, holding a cold body, he can't even scream. The thrill of revenge? No. Just pure, bottomless horror and absurdity. What the hell is this? The sky turns blood red. A draconic shadow looms over buildings. Princess Lagarde, a low voice seems to call. This isn't fantasy. It's the brutal 90% casualty count, real-time apocalypse footage. The survivors will call it the Day of Judgment. Cities lie in ruin. Population? Down 90%. Social order? Utterly dismantled. After the judgment, the survivors stumble through the wreckage, searching for meaning. And Kirigane Rakudo, the trash who wanted to die, is forced to open his eyes as Survivor Zero. Rakudo wakes under a blood-red sky, still clutching one phone that didn't explode. It was broken early, and its death spared it from the judgment. Monsters from phones? Is this reality? He mutters. Or have I finally woken up from my dying dream? At first, he thinks this must be a brutal death hallucination. Watching the people who look down on him get shredded by monsters brings a sick, twisted satisfaction. Ha ha. Damn, I get it. He thinks he jumped and died. This is a dying dream. The monsters keep killing, taking even unrelated innocents. Had enough revenge? Happy seeing them become trash, he snarls at himself. But as the carnage grows, that sick thrill drowns in a tidal wave of fear and powerlessness. No more. Please, if this is a dream, let me wake up. Too real. Every detail, every tremor of fear goes way beyond a nightmare. For a dream, isn't this too realistic? The suffering of unrelated people chokes him. This isn't a dream. It's like the actual hell intruding on his suicidal fantasy. He crumbles on the rooftop, head in hands. What is this? What the hell is going on? All reason is shredded by the gore. Enough. How long am I gonna dream? Just die already. His life was shit, but this is shit on an apocalyptic level. His mental defenses shatter. Everyone around me is shit. That shitty brother, too. He looks at the sky. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Like I care. He tries to armor his shattered heart with total numbness. But once the dam of apathy breaks, the floodgates of morality burst open. But this just isn't right, he stammers, watching strangers die in the most brutal ways imaginable. No matter how you look at it, it isn't right for people to die like that. This isn't just his personal tragedy anymore. It's a slaughterhouse for all of humanity. Fight? No, it's a one-sided beating. He's no match for the monster. Sent flying after one blow, his back slamming into a fence. Every organ screams. A dash. Blood drips from his mouth. This is nothing like his hero saves the girl fantasy. The monster ignores him, turning its claws on the fallen girl, grabbing her by the hair. This is death. The alarm bells in his mind shriek. He can feel the cold steel in the air. Am I going to die? Like that. Then a voice echoes in his mind. Just now you were planning to die, right? You don't want to die. The voice hits him like a sledgehammer. You wanted to put an end, right? Life is shit. The world is shit. Nothing changes if I die. Logically, it's all true. But then he watches someone die in the most unsightly, disgraceful way. And a primal, instinctual impulse explodes in his chest. Death. Don't want it. Not like that, Dash. No, he doesn't want to die. At least, not trampled under a monster's foot like trash. The monster attacks again. He grabs a rusted iron pipe, his last lifeline. I don't want to die. He screams, tears and terror in his voice. The pipe barely dents the beast. Smashed into the wall again, bones crying. Real death is so unsightly and miserable. It's too pitiful. At death's door, red light flashes in his eyes. Something is about to awaken. He knows what death feels like now. Who in their right mind would want it? No, I don't want to die. The monster roars, its strike capable of shattering stone. Rikudo is hit, body screaming as it's nearly torn apart. But his final shout is, it's not like I wanted to die in the first place. You dumbass. He didn't want to kill himself. He just wanted to escape the pain. Now, with real death looming, he only wants to live. Time slows. Under extreme pressure, his mind discards everything else. He remembers his father's old kendo lessons, movements long forgotten. Humans have a state known as the zone, where concentration peaks. In this moment, for the first time, by his own will, Rikudo steps onto the battlefield. His eyes change. Calm, sharp, locked on. The counterattack begins now. Backs against the wall, Rikudo is fighting for his life against a goblin to protect a girl he doesn't even know. He's being torn apart, bleeding out on the absolute edge. But in that moment of death, his father's voice from kendo, training flashes in his mind. Time slows. Everything else fades. He enters the zone. His body moves on instinct, and with one explosive, desperate strike, he shatters the monster's skull. His first real, solo victory. The monster falls, its strange blue-green blood pooling on the ground. Rikudo leans heavily on the makeshift pipe he used as a weapon, panting in the rain, every breath a struggle. The rain is cold, but the sensation feels intensely real. He's shivering, but not from fear. All the past years of bullying, the moments he wished for death, it all feels like a fake, suffocating dream. He tilts his head back and roars into the blood-red sky with everything he has. It's cathartic. So that's it. Standing over the monster's corpse, wounded and bloody, Rikudo makes a vow to himself. That's why, from the bottom of his heart now, he doesn't want to die. As the adrenaline fades and the pain sets in, another feeling surges up. A fierce, defiant grin spreads across his face. It's wonderful to be alive. Exhausted and losing blood, Rikudo collapses in the mud. Vision fading, he hears a frantic voice. Hey, stay with me. When he opens his eyes, it's Tuyanishi, the archery prodigy he saw that day. He recognizes him, just as his mind starts to give out. Just before their reunion, the city was already in ruins. Flames raged, buildings crumbled. From behind the school's fence, students and teachers watched in horror as their world burned. When the monsters first emerged, some teachers and students barricaded the school gates, trying to keep the horrors out. But in their haste to save themselves, they sealed the fate of dozens of others, students who were still outside, screaming for help. Most died right at the gates. Others were trapped inside with a different fate. Tuya witnessed it all. He was on one side of a locked door in a stairwell. On the other side, students were being hunted, pounding on the metal, begging, screaming, please, listen. And he, along with others on the safe side, just stood there, frozen in terror. Open it, and invite a horde of monsters in. The desperate pleas from outside clashed with the panicked arguments inside. There's no way we can open it. The unified, primal thought among those safe inside was simple. I want to survive. I don't want to open it. Tuya can't forget it. At his core, his own will to survive trumped all else. He was a coward that day. He listened to the cries and pleads from the other side of the door until they were silenced. Fuck. The guilt from that choice eats at him. In the dark, standing next to the goblin Rakudo just killed, Tuya finally unburdens himself. It wasn't your fault, you know. I'm the same. I put everything I had into surviving, so... He looks at the monster, self-deprecating. I was a complete nervous wreck. If only I'd had that kind of resolve back then, I might have been able to save them. Soon after their reunion, everyone on the roof is gathered. A dozen or so survivors, including Sakura Kuju, the tech genius, and Mr. Uyama. A boy with brown hair takes charge. For starters, let's take stock of our situation. Around noon today, weird monsters suddenly came out of smartphones, right? Everyone checks their phones in a panic. The result is chilling. Every phone is either out of power or shattered. Not a single working device. Damn, we can't even call for help like this. Communication is dead. Rikudo quietly pulls out his already broken phone. Monsters came from phones. Now all phones are dead. There's a connection. And at least his was broken, so no monster came out of it. That's the only silver lining. A guy in blue loses his patience. This is getting us nowhere. In any case, we have to maintain the status quo. He wants to hunker down and wait. Maintain the status quo. Rikudo coldly shatters that delusion. The monsters came from smartphones. Everyone has a smartphone. That means this is probably happening in the whole city, maybe the whole world. The police, self-defense forces, they might already be out of the picture. His words are a bucket of ice water. Hiding and waiting is the same as waiting to die. The tension is broken by a different kind of threat. It's Takeda, one of Rikudo's former bullies. He saunters over and sneers, calling Rikudo a mob, an extra. What gives you the right to act like you're in charge now? He grabs Rikudo's collar, ready to re-establish the old pecking order. Takeda is still posturing. Rikudo just mutters, it's annoying. That's the spark. Ichu-chach. What did you say? Takeda throws a punch. Tuya and Sakura shout for them to stop, but it's too late. Everyone braces to see Rikudo get hit again. But the next moment, Takeda's fist is caught, completely immobilized in Rikudo's grip. Takeda's confusion is written all over his face. He has no time to process what's happening next. Takes advantage of the opening. He surges forward, grabs Takeda's wrist with his other hand, and uses his momentum to flip him over in an explosive move, slamming him into the ground with brutal efficiency. The dynamic between them is shattered, literally in an instant. Takeda writhes on the ground, screaming curses and insults. Rikudo has a foot on him, looking down with a mixture of pity and disdain. Why was I even scared of a guy like this? Tuya grabs his arm, telling him to cool it. He was totally going to break him. That's enough. Tuya pulls Rikudo back, breaking the violent trance. Rikudo lets out a sigh, the adrenaline fading. Tuya thinks to himself, this guy's crazy. But for now, at least the immediate fight is over. Tuya and Sakura step in as peacemakers, urging everyone to move forward. The teacher, Uyama, also calls for order. The fight is quelled, but the crisis remains. The question returns, louder than ever. What do they do now? The rooftop has nothing but people. No supplies, no weapons, no hope of imminent rescue. Tuya lays it out. We must find a safe place, food, water, anything. Rikudo, ever the strategist, adds the crucial caveat. But we need to know if moving is even possible. We shouldn't act blindly. Saito, Kodon's childhood friend, immediately protests. It's too dangerous. Monsters are still out there. What's the play? Hide and wait. Check the hallway? The fear is palpable. Who would willingly walk into a monster's lair? Someone shrieks. The guy who wanted to maintain the status quo points at Rikudo and the still recovering Takeda. You too. Go check it out. Trying to send the weakest links to scout the lion's den. Why should I go? Takeda snaps back, turning his anger on Uyama. At times like this, you should be setting the example. Shouldn't you teach? Uyama pales, stammering. I must stay here and protect the students. Cowards hiding behind authority, pushing others into danger. Rikudo watches this pathetic circus in silence. He takes a deep breath, hefts his bloodied pipe and walks calmly toward the pile of rubble. Without a word, he swings the pipe down with a heavy, decisive thud. The sound cuts through the arguing, drawing everyone's attention. He turns around, his expression one of terrifying, calm resolve. We stay here, we starve, or become monster food. Either way, it's certain death. A beat of silence. His voice is quiet but ironclad. I don't want to die. I absolutely refuse to die. He locks eyes with the group, in which case, there's no choice but to move. A smile breaks across Tuya's face. He picks up his bow case and strides to Rikudo's side. You said it. He's going too. After all, there might still be survivors inside. Uyama panics, rushing forward. Nishi? Wait, if something happens to you, how can I be responsible? With Tuya joining him, Rikudo feels a weight lift. He glances at the hesitant Saito and mutters to Tuya, honestly, I'm glad to have you. That chihuahua seems disinclined to go. Tuya blinks, then looks at Saito, who's all nervous energy and no action. He suppresses a laugh. He's totally a chihuahua. The two of them head towards the school building's entrance. Rikudo confesses to Tuya, to tell you the truth, I'm scared of death. I have a reason I absolutely can't die. He sees his old prison in his mind. So, let's survive together. Tuya claps him on the shoulder. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Finally, Rikudo says, my name is Rikudo. Here again, Rikudo. A new partnership is forged. Their first mission, to venture into the lion's den of the school's dark interior. While the teacher and others hesitated at the lion's den's entrance, the boy who had just crawled back from death stepped forward. The fire in his eyes wasn't recklessness. It was a grim declaration. Nishi, the archery champion, found himself drawn by that fire. He joined. Two names, exchanged for the first time under the shadow of death. This was an alliance forged, not a party invitation. Stepping into the building, they opened the textbook of hell. Sentences written in blood, corpses as punctuation, the air thick with congealed despair. This wasn't a nightmare come true. It was reality ripping off its human skin. Fewer prey? Not gone. Just taking their appetites to the all-you-can-eat buffet outside of school. This deduction was more chilling than the smell of blood in the hallway. Love at first sight around the corner, a lone green goblin. Nishi notched an arrow, his eyes colder than ice. Takeable. Takeable. The arrow strikes, drawing a howl of pain from the beast. But a goblin doesn't go down easily. In a flash, Nishi is down, a spike club whistling towards his head. Game over. But then, a blur from the shadows. The silent Kurigane strikes. Fast, precise, brutal. A makeshift blade finds its mark in the creature's throat. Is this a fluke? No. It's a will to survive that refuses to retreat. Back to back, catching their breath. Clear. Oof. Brutal, just like I thought. The monster's corpse lay between them. A silent oath that they could, indeed, survive. The fight ended. A conversation began. These monsters were familiar. Goblin, orc, classic RPG cannon fodder. But the archer hit the nail on the head. In games, you can save. Here, you only get one life. A cold laugh. No levels, no cheat skills, no magic. Just two ordinary guys. Nishi's tone shifted, his gaze boring into the black-haired boy. But you're something else, Rikudo. The secret was out. Rikudo's flinch said everything. A flashback, the crack of a wooden sword breaking, a man with white hair walking away. This wasn't a fond memory. This was something darker. Faced with questions, Rikudo used a smile as a shield. Not really. A lie so thin you could see through it. With instinct and skill like that, why was he the one getting bullied just yesterday? The mission was clear. Scout, survive, bring back intel. They forged a grim pact. If needed, abandon the other. Not betrayal, just the cold, hard logic of survival in hell. The ink barely dried on their grim pact when shrieks split the air from above. It speared through the darkness and through Rikudo's spine. He froze. That voice. Kodon. 1 second talking cell the partner. The next, Nishi was gone, a blur up the stairs. Rikudo stared after him, mind reeling. I was the fool for buying your act, wasn't I? While they debated hell, its spotlight found Kodon. The storage area, a slaughterhouse. She watched, frozen, as monsters tore her friends apart. Every thought of I have to help died in the throat, choked by terror. Screams, please, the crunch of bone. She clutched her head, the world exploding in her ears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I always run away. Past cowardice and present carnage crushed her into dust. Another flashback. Just like then, watching, paralyzed as he was beaten. Back then, someone else charged in. But here, in this pit of monsters, who would come for her now? She woke to cold silence. Her phone screen glowed eerily. She opened it. What is this? A floating blue interface? Judgment Day wasn't just monsters. It broke reality itself. Before she could grasp the interface, heavy footsteps. She stifled her breath, praying to be overlooked. Then, a light stabbed into her hiding spot. Game over. A clawed hand closed around her throat like a vice. Somebody help. Pleading was her last weapon, but in this place, all weapons were broken. Then, a blur of darkness tore into the fray. Another monster? It attacked the green orc holding Codon. A blue one? Infighting? Or a stronger player has joined the game? The new player was a demon. Crimson skin, rippling muscle, a spiked rod whirling like a tornado. The green goblins shattered before it like crackers. This was the floor's true apex predator. With the cannon fodder cleared, the demon's burning gaze finally settled on the girl in the corner. Its breath came like bellows, each step shaking the floor. No, help me. She was lifted off the ground by a single, massive hand. A toy to be broken. Claws scratched her skin, death's touch cold. Spare me. Please. Even the instinct to survive was reduced to a beggar's whimper. When Rikudo and Nishi reached the end of the hall, this was the sight. A crimson demon, the girl in its grasp. Nishi's response was instant. The two of us can take it. Rikudo just stared. Has he lost his mind? You have a death wish? Rikudo hissed. That thing is beyond human. But Nishi's eyes held a strange fervor. I will save her. She's alive. In this hell, that logic sounded like a sick joke. Facing the approaching demon, Nishi let his truth spill. When death stared me in the face, I realized I wanted to live. Someone to save her. That's my proof that I'm alive. Rikudo was stunned by this madness. A flashback, Nishi's past. No family, no friends, the family photo in his wallet, a pathetic lie. He'd been told, you're already dead. Now, he was going to rip his proof of life back from a demon's jaws. It went deeper. I have a sister. Not by blood. Nishi's voice tightened. If I die here, she'll be alone. That was his real reason to risk death. Not for heroics, but because someone, somewhere was waiting. Rikudo looked at this walking contradiction, this sell-you-off partner who now wanted to charge a demon. A slow grin spread. Looks like you're pretty sick in the head, too. He straightened. But if you're in, I have an idea. A crazy one. The plan is a go. Rikudo grabs a fire extinguisher and blasts the demon lord, pulling its attention away. That thing is pissed and turns on him immediately. Look at that fury on the demon's face. Rikudo takes a deep breath. There's no turning back now. The duel for survival has begun. Codon thinks it's all over. She's ready to be devoured. But then, a figure emerges from the flames. Who the hell is that? The demon chases Codon, cornering her. As its claws are about to come down, Rikudo makes his entrance. Hey, you there. Close your eyes if you want to live. Codon can't believe it. Is that really the same timid Rikudo? Rikudo goes on the offensive. He's using Kiryutoshi, a sword technique from his dad. Instead of meeting brute force head-on, he redirects it and sends the demon flying. The rope won't cut. Carrying her is impossible. Rikudo grits his teeth. Plan B, Nishi. He takes off, leading the demon right into their trap. On the rooftop, Nishi's palms are sweating. Damn it. I'm not confident, but I'm giving it my all. This one shot is all they've got. Close quarters combat. Rikudo trades blows with the monstrosity. Every swing from the demon could be fatal. One mistake, and it's over. Rikudo catches his breath. The muscle memory is still there. Even in the heat of battle, his mind races. This thing's attack pattern is way too predictable. He remembers the dojo, his father's teachings. Dad, I haven't forgotten what you taught me. That legacy is his only weapon now. Another clash. Rikudo finds an opening and lands a solid hit. The demon roars in pain, but its hide is too tough. No critical damage. It's just a monster. All it has is brute force. No feints, no technique, just wild, powerful swings. Codon watches in awe. Rikudo is perfectly parrying every attack. But she can also see it. He's running on fumes, reaching his absolute limit. Rikudo's hands are numb. Sweat drips down his brow. The impact is insane. He's burning through his stamina. He has to lure it into position before he gives out. Now, with his last ounce of strength, Rikudo leads the demon towards the long, straight corridor, Nishi's kill zone. Watching his back, Codon remembers the past. The boy who'd always risk everything for someone else. He hasn't changed at all. From the rooftop, Nishi holds his breath. Hang in there, Rikudo. Just 10 more meters. Success or death hinges on this next moment. They're in a zone. The demon can't dodge left or right. It's on a straight line path. Nishi's bow is drawn to its limit. But Codon, strapped to the demon's back, is the final variable. Nishi's aim wavers between the demon's weak point and the girl. How can he take the shot? Rikudo gets launched by a brutal axe strike. Both Kodon and Nishi cry out in horror. The situation just went from bad to worse. Cold sweat breaks out on Nishi. I don't have a guaranteed hit yet. Rikudo's final words echo. You only get one chance. The pressure is suffocating. From the shadows, he calculates every variable. Distance, angle, trajectory. He's so close. Turn just a little more this way. Come on. In his sights, Rikudo is holding on by a thread, with Kodon inches away. Nishi's breath hitches. The window of opportunity is about to slam shut. Kodon begs him to run, but Rikudo just looks back, his expression resolute. Don't worry about me anymore. He's making himself the ultimate bait. Watching him, Kodon remembers her own failures. I kept deserting you, but regret turns to resolve. Not today. To her childhood friend's objections, she finally stands her ground. I'm tired of doing nothing. She's ready to take action. The demon thinks it's won. It doesn't know a bowstring in the shadows is strained to its breaking point. Rikudo's desperate blow loses all momentum. The demon's raw power crashes down on him. The demon closes the distance in an instant, sending Rikudo flying. Kodon's shouts are lost in the roar. Nishi, where are you? It's all on your support now. Now, in the demon's moment of triumph, Nishi's arrow screams in from an impossible angle. Precision-guided, direct hit. 10 minutes later, Rikudo hands Nishi Sakura's secret weapon. The plan hinges on one thing: alcohol. The plan is brutally simple. Use the 100% pure ethanol as a toxin. Just find a way to inject it right into the monster. The logic is sound, but how? Normal methods won't even break its skin. Rikudo points to the only weak point, its eyes. I'll bait it with a fire extinguisher. If it flinches, we'll know. Nishi, you put the arrow right through its eyeball. Nishi thinks the plan is insane, but Rikudo's already moving, drawing the monster out. A blue magic circle erupts. Game on. 3 signals. Weakness confirmed. The plan is in motion. Nishi's arrow flies true. Every shot a bullseye. The alcohol takes effect. The demon writhes in agony and confusion, stumbling like a drunkard. Its reign of terror is over. Strike while it's down, but it's not an instant kill. Both sides are pushed to the limit. This is the final test of will. The demon goes berserk. It grabs Rikudo and bites down, using his body like a ragdoll club. Rikudo is trapped, inches from death. The moment before the demon shreds him, Nishi's finishing shot arrives. The demon crashes down. They escape by the skin of their teeth, supporting each other, utterly spent. At the rooftop door, Kodon hears the commotion. Nishi confronts Rikudo, shaken. Weren't you afraid I'd miss? Rikudo smirks. You're the national champion. I trusted you. The bond between these two survivors is now forged in battle. The crisis is over. Kodon rushes to her hero. Rikudo-kun, thank you for saving me. She has no idea the real lifesaver was the archer in the shadows. Nishi watches it all unfold, a surge of jealousy hitting him hard. So that's how it is. I do all the work, and you get all the credit, huh? Kodon recognizes Rikudo as her childhood friend. She's filled with guilt for avoiding him when he was bullied. But Rikudo calmly comforts her. You made the right choice. No time for regret. Nishi asks Kodon to join them. New threats lurk. The trio decides to fortify the school and build a true safe haven. With the demon gone, the building seems quiet. But Rikudo's mind races. Is the danger really over? No wishful thinking. They take the most drastic measure. Sealing the exits. The fire shutters crash down. Lockdown complete. Now it's time to face the other survivors on the roof. The true, more dangerous battleground. Human nature. They return as heroes. But among the survivors, a self-proclaimed boyfriend named Saito stands to stake his claim on Kodon, while Uyama-sensei prepares to seize command. The celebration is over before it begins. Saito publicly declares his ownership of Kodon, stating their parents' approval. His condescending tone immediately sparks anger in the onlookers. The other survivors are still reeling from news of Rikudo slaying the demon. The former punching bag is now the new ace. But with this newfound status comes the first challenger. Saito confronts Rikudo. I'll protect Kodon. Leave her to me. Rikudo responds with a smile, but then reaches out to pull Kodon to his side. The tension is palpable. Now, Sakura takes center stage, explaining the science behind the alcohol attack. She launches into a detailed lecture on biological similarities, proving her poison theory. Nishi reports their grim findings. No more survivors. But he also brings hope. They've sealed the lower floors and secured food. They can hold out for now. The moment the crisis stabilizes, Uyama-sensei seizes the moment to grab power. He barks orders to gather supplies and build a new base. The coward finally shows his true, power-hungry colors. Uyama-sensei quickly shows his leadership style, dumping the filthiest, most brutal tasks, like hauling monster corpses, on Rikudo. The student's discontent begins to simmer. Rikudo carries a body bag. Inside is one of his former tormentors. He once fantasized about laughing at their deaths. Now, the reality just feels hollow and awful. The apocalypse changes everything. The social dynamics inside the shelter are more twisted than the monsters outside. Saito Shinjiro throws down the gauntlet, staking his claim on Kodon like she's property. The air is thick with tension. As the standoff with Rikudo begins, Kuju Sakura cuts in with a bombshell. Alcohol is the monster's weakness. A simple, scientific fact. Rikudo and Nishi deliver their grim report. Supplies won't last more than 3 days. But before anyone can process it, Uyama-sensei, the cowardly teacher, roars to life. He's seizing control. His order? Stay put, wait for rescue. The power struggle inside these walls has officially begun. The dirty work starts. The first command from a new leadership? Clean up the corpses on the roof. Rikudo gets the short stick. Saito sees his chance and pounces, dripping with contempt, painting Rikudo as a selfish coward who pushes the worst jobs onto others. The mood turns toxic. Then, a defiant voice cuts through the malice. Kodon. She's not the passive bystander from the past anymore. Trembling but unyielding, she confronts her so-called childhood friend Saito, standing up for Rikudo against his venomous words. In that moment, whatever bond they had before the apocalypse is irretrievably shattered. The true weight of their new reality hits when Rikudo starts the gruesome work. He lifts the body of Takeda, his former bully. He expects catharsis, a moment of dark satisfaction. Instead, all he feels is a crushing, hollow weight. Survival isn't about vengeance. As he struggles, a hand reaches out to share the burden. It's Kodon, defying Saito's furious protests. I'll help. 2 broken souls, finding a fragile connection in the hellscape. Saito watches them, the green-eyed monster consuming him. He loses it. Chasing them down, he corners Rikudo and Kodon in a deserted hallway. His rage, fueled by jealousy and impotence, boils over. Reason is gone. Saito grabs Kodon, trying to physically drag her away. He's spewing threats, demanding she cut all ties with Rikudo. He's strong, desperate, and she's struggling against his manic grip. But Kodon is a different person now. With a surge of strength, she wrenches free. She stares him down, her voice cracking but clear, unloading years of resentment. Their friendship, a facade built on parental expectations. She's done. We're through, she declares. It's a liberation, a severance. Saito's world fractures. The pedestal he put himself on crumbles. Rejection mutates into pure, unfiltered rage. He turns it all on Rikudo, lunging at him with a guttural scream. This is all your fault. But Rikudo isn't the punching bag anymore. He doesn't flinch. As Saito lunges, his body reacts. Muscle's memory kicks in. A perfect, disciplined karate stance snaps into place. The sudden, lethal aura radiating from the once victim stops Saito cold in his tracks. Face to face with that cold, professional readiness, Saito's bravado evaporates. He chickens out, reduced to hurling pathetic, venomous insults from a safe distance. You're nothing, riding on the backs of the dead. Just as the tension reaches its breaking point, something shifts. A wet, slithering sound from above. Before anyone can react, a translucent blue ooze, a slime monster, seeps through the ceiling. It engulfs their other teacher, Tan-sensei, in a heartbeat. His choked cry for help shatters the illusion of safety. The secure shelter has been breached. Panic erupts, but Rikudo's mind switches gears. Fear is a luxury. He locks onto the writhing mass, his brain analyzing at lightning speed. Common sense doesn't apply. He needs its weakness. Now, but an even more immediate threat looms. Saito's jealousy has curdled into murderous intent. He fixates on Rikudo, a walking symbol of his humiliation. So you like this trash? He advances, ignoring Kodon's terrified pleas. All he sees is an obstacle to be removed. The fight explodes. Saito throws a wild punch. Rikudo's defense is fluid, a practice block that deflects the blow and instantly locks onto Saito's arm. They grapple, and Saito feels a shock of raw strength from the boy he used to look down on. When did he get so strong? Enraged, Saito prepares to go all out. Then, Rikudo's posture shifts. It's subtle, but to someone who knows, it's a thunderclap. A textbook-perfect, advanced karate stance. lethal and disciplined. The arrogant fire in Seidu's eyes flickers and dies, replaced by cold, dawning terror. This isn't a brawl. He's facing a trained fighter. He backs down. The insults still pour out. Coward, but they're hollow, a cover for his retreat. His body betrays his bravado. Their petty duel is abruptly, brutally overshadowed by the real, slimy monster in the room. Personal vendettas are a luxury they can no longer afford. Rikudo has already dismissed Saito. His entire focus is on the slime and the teacher it's digesting. Think. Nishi and Kuju rush to his side. In true crisis, their makeshift team clicks into gear without a word. Amidst the chaos and ooze, Rikudo takes charge. He addresses the shell-shock survivors, laying out the brutal math. 3 days of food, makeshift weapons, zero contact with the outside world. Staying here isn't safety. It's a slow death sentence. Then, he ignites a spark of hope. Fix my phone. All eyes turn to Kuju Sakura, the tech genius. She blushes, stammering that she can probably do it, using parts from Kodon's identical phone. It's a shaky, probably, but it's their only lifeline to the world beyond these walls. The plan catches fire. A working phone means the internet. Information. Contact with other survivors. A path forward. Even Kodon finds her resolve, her eyes steely with purpose. But Kuju drops another bombshell. When the monsters appeared, every single internet-capable device, phones, computers, on or off, was simultaneously destroyed. It wasn't random damage. It was a coordinated phenomenon. And Rikudo's phone, broken before Judgment Day, is the lone, miraculous exception. It's their one and only chance. The mission is set. They have to go outside, to the AO discount store for tools and supplies. By car, and all eyes, filled with desperate hope, land on the only licensed adult among them, Uyama-sensei. The reaction, they get chills the room. Uyama-sensei doesn't just refuse, he erupts. No, it's too dangerous. We wait here for rescue. He's clinging to his fantasy of a safe zone, a terrified child refusing to leave his blanket fort as the house burns down. Rikudo counters with cold logic. If we don't go, we die anyway. But Uyama is beyond reason. He falls back on his teacher's authority, screaming, I protect you by staying. I won't drive. This is for your own good. His fear has transformed him into their greatest internal obstacle. A deadlock. Then, a clear, defiant voice cuts through. Then, I'll drive. Kodon stands up. The room gasps. This gentle girl? She explains, her grandfather in the countryside let her drive his truck as a kid. In this apocalypse, everyone is discovering hidden strengths they never knew they had. Saito explodes again. He won't allow Kodon to risk herself. But the Kodon who meets his gaze is different. Calm, resolute, she shuts him down. Stay out of it, Saito-kun. Her choice is made. It's Rikudo. It's the fight for survival, no matter the cost. Rikudo looks Kodon dead in the eye. No sugarcoating. It's deadly out there. Even in a car, we're not safe. Nishi and I, we can't guarantee your protection. He's not trying to scare her. He's giving her the brutal truth, the final respect of letting her choose with open eyes. Are you still okay with it? Kodon's answer is in her unwavering stance. But Uyama's madness reaches its peak. He storms back in, a tyrant fueled by terror. I'm a teacher. You do as I say. We all wait here, in this safe place. He's trying to use fear and hollow authority to drag everyone into a collective grave. Rikudo's patience snaps. He turns, his voice ice cold, addressing Uyama and every delusion in the room. A safe place. He gestures at the walls, the ceiling, the lingering slime residue. You've seen them. Common sense doesn't apply here. And as the last word leaves his mouth, the ceiling drips blue again. A new slime oozes down, this time homing in on the screaming Uyama-sensei. Gaia, help! He's engulfed, drowning in the gelatinous horror. Rikudo's warning becomes a horrifying prophecy fulfilled. There is no safe place. Not anymore. Waiting is death. The real fight for survival starts now. Just moments ago, death was a certainty. A massive ice spike impaled through flesh, a symphony of agony and frozen shards. That desperate cry still echoes. But the hand gripping the gun trembles. Not from fear, but because this is just the beginning of a far greater trial. Monsters are dissolving their classmates alive. Nishi, quick! Rikudo and Nishi charge in on pure instinct. But that blue slime, it's literally digesting a human. Physical attacks? Useless. Magic? They don't even have a way to make fire. In the midst of despair, a shocking discovery. The slime devours flesh, but the synthetic fibers of their school uniforms are immune. Rikudo's mind kicks into overdrive. Their one and only chance is clinging to their own backs, using their uniforms as weapons. A life or death three-hit combo. They actually rip their friend free from the dissolving acid. The cost? Rikudo and Nishi are thrown back, battered and bruised. But they won, by a hair's breadth. Fire. Fire is their weakness. But the flames are gone. What now? Just as despair sets in, the underestimated tech genius, the blonde Sakura Kuju, steps up. Need fire? Here. She actually carries a toolkit capable of creating a flame source in her bag. Who said tech geeks can't be heroes? The slime evaporates in a black smoke. Enemy neutralized. But when they look back, it's over. Nishi and another student kneel on the ground. Tanny, the teammate they just rescued, is fading. We were too late. The best tactics in the world mean nothing if death gets there first. Back at school, the pressure cooker is about to blow. The weak-willed, paranoid coach Uyama still roars, trying to trap everyone in a death-waiting cage. But Rikudo looks out at the monster-infested streets and understands one brutal truth. The common sense of survival has been devoured along with civilization. Clear the monsters around the school. Bao longsword, short staff. The trio works in perfect sync, clean and brutal. That's the last of them for now, but no one dares relax. In this hell, a moment's peace is nothing but the prelude to the next fight. They have to go outside. To fix the phones, they need parts and tools. The only one who knows where to find them is Rikudo. He needs a car and a driver he can trust. Surprisingly, it's his seemingly fragile childhood friend, Kodon, who steps up, and she can drive a manual transmission. Trouble arrives. Saito Shinjiro, Koton's protector, the guy oozing with jealousy and possessiveness, forces his way onto the team. It's my job to protect Kodon, he says coldly to Rikudo. This isn't protection. This is planting a volatile, jealous bomb right in the heart of their squad. Destination: the AO discount store outside. Rikudo, Nishi, Kodon, Sakura Kuju, and the uninvited Saito. A 5-person squad is formed. The eyes of those left behind are a mix of hope, envy, and fear. Coach Uyama's gaze holds nothing but malice. The minivan roars to life, plunging into the abyss of the unknown. They're out. The black minivan tears through the silent streets, leaving the rotting, violent, despair-filled safety of the school far behind. Ahead lies the monster's hunting ground, and their only path to survival. Watching the taillights vanish around the corner, atop the school building, Coach Uyama's tyranny begins. A student urges him to deal with the bodies on the roof. His response is a brutal swing of a rod. Shut up. I make the rules here. This safe zone has transformed from a fortress into another prison, guarded by a tyrant. Meanwhile, outside, under the night sky, danger takes another form. Flying demons, packs of hellhounds prowl the streets. The school they left was a hell. The world outside is a grander, far more terrifying inferno. Thump! Kodon drives straight through a smaller monster blocking the road. The sensation is sickening, but wheels are faster than legs. Before they can even catch their breath, the rearview mirror fills with the hulking form of a pitch-black, red-eyed behemoth. It's locked on. It's coming. Driving through monster-infested streets, they see no signs of life, let alone other survivors. Despair begins to creep in. But then, Nishi's eyes sharpen. Ahead, 50 meters, a convenience store. Food, an irresistible temptation. The atmosphere inside the van turns tense. Want to grab food? Understandable. But Seida's cold water arrives instantly. Won't our destination have food? He's always questioning Rikudo. Rikudo doesn't even spare him a glance, coldly retorting, "No one asked you." The air is thick with unspoken conflict. Seitu's mind churns. What if the destination is a monster nest? What if there's no food there? No one has the answers. Nishi sees it clearer. There is no right choice here. Rikudo realizes it too. Every single decision from now on is a gamble with their lives. Finally, Rikudo makes the call. We're hitting the convenience store. He trusts Kodon's driving, and he understands food is non-negotiable. We're with you. No complaints. In this moment, the once bullied boy solidifies his role as the true decision-making core of this ragtag squad. The van stops outside the convenience store. Half-empty shelves, signs of looting everywhere. Something, or someone, has been here before. No sign of monsters, for now. Rikudo, Nishi, and Saito, weapons in hand, push open the door. The first off-campus scavenging run begins. But the air carries a strange, sickly sweet scent of copper and decay. Kodon and Sakura are cornered on the rooftop, screams tearing through the air. Escape is impossible. Just when a monster's claws promise a brutal end, a second, Larger foe rises behind them, spear in hand. Hope flickers and dies. Rikudo's gone feral, shattering another monster with a metal pipe. He screams at Kodon to run, to save Sakura and leave him. Sacrificing himself? Too late. 3 more spear-wielding monsters close in. Hero moment? More like a desperate last stand. Tuya's desperate sprint across a bridge is cut short. 3 monsters swarm him. The plan's dead. No element of surprise. His combat power just halved. Worry for Rikudo gnaws at him, but the brutal math of 1 versus 3 hammers home a single, chilling thought. Am I going to die here? Just when a lizard man strike seems to spell the end, something inside Rikudo snaps. Pain morphs into pure voltage. Blue lightning erupts from his core, blasting the creature across the room. I won't. He roars, shattering his own limits. Right on cue, a blonde kid drops from the sky like a superhero, yelling a cocky just in time, before unloading a barrage of attacks on the monsters swarming Rikudo. Take that and that. A flashy save, but the burning question is, who the hell is this guy? All-out war erupts. Tuya's bow is drawn, an arrow ready to fly. Meanwhile, the mysterious white-haired swordsman clashes with a hulking beast in a dizzying blur of red slashes and furious roars. The air crackles with pure, unadulterated violence. Rikudo spots an opening and bolts forward. Don't know who they are, but now's my chance. His punch connects with a sickening crunch. From a nearby rooftop, a trio of weird onlookers watch. One laughs, another face bombs, a third just TSKS. This dumb asterisk still hasn't joined the Night Scan's Discord. The battle ends, exhaustion setting in. Then, from the debris, 2 girls come sprinting, waving excitedly. We finally found other survivors. New allies? Sure, but in this broken world, new people always bring new complications. A sudden twist. A first-year kid named Ayase Tota and his infamous third-year senpai, the legendary delinquent Yamauka Takashi, roll up in a sleek black van. Everyone get in. They whisk the stunned group away, arriving at a destination no one expected, a vibrantly pink hotel love. Cue shocked silence. Information is traded, tensions simmer. Then Saito storms out, ordering the newcomers to leave in a rage. Yamauka, sweating, quickly apologizes, says it's not stable. Daytime is safer, fewer monsters. But they all remember the bloody gauntlet that is the way home from school. The facts. Yamauka rescued Ayase single-handedly from a monster horde and secured this hotel. The rumors? Hardcore delinquency, violence, Yakuza ties, even whispers of murder. Ayase adores him, but Rikudo's mind races with the darkest possibilities. He desperately wants the rumors to be baseless. Wants to is the key word. Reality check. Phones are now useless bricks, the world overrun. Rikudo presses about the warning note they'd found earlier. Yamauka's slight hesitation speaks volumes. It wasn't them. The chilling implication dawns. There are other survivors, or something else, manipulating this nightmare. Rikudo cuts to the chase. Fixing his phone is a long shot. Plans? If they're not in, he'll take them back. The blonde tech genius could box. I was forced into this. Yet when pressed, she stays. Maybe because Rikudo makes for a decent human shield. Pragmatism overrules fear. Their plan is insane. A death charge into monster-dense residential zones. Nishi hits the nail on the head. Your plan's cornerstone. Her safety should be the top priority, shouldn't it? All eyes turn to Kodon. Her wide eye to me echoes the dawning realization. Their rash courage almost got her, their heart killed. Yamauka crosses his arms, deferring control. I'm a soldier. Use me as you see fit. The planning falls entirely to Nishi and Rikudo. But that silent gaze Rikudo gives him, it's laced with distrust. The hard part begins. Repeated, nerve-wracking scouting trips and strategy sessions. Teamwork makes the nightmare work. After days of tense recon, they carve a safe route through the urban hellscape, marking map after map. United, they overcome every ambush. Their vehicle now rolls towards the final destination, a massive building labeled AO, under a sky streaked with ominous blue light. We're here. AO stands before them, a monument of glass and steel. Yamauka trembles, not from fear, but the pre-battle thrill of Mushaburi. No more prep. The final leader, earphones in, sets the tone. Everybody stay alert. The real challenge starts here. Cut back to the school. A fresh hell. Starving students huddle, rationing crumbs of bread, despair a tangible stench. They whisper about the missing Sakura and the others, a flicker of hope dying. Inomoto finds the courage to beg the teacher, Uyama, for more food. His response? A furious, heartless roar. Forget it. Uyama-sensei's mask slips fully. He gorges himself while others starve. Shut up and do as you're told. He corners Inomoto with a revolting proposition. If you dedicate yourself to me. He calls it a joke to lighten the mood. The joke is that this is now the norm. The grotesque face of power without oversight. Back at AO, tension is a living thing. While winged horrors fill the sky outside, the colossal store inside is deathly quiet, ominous. Nishi voices the fear they all feel. Most likely, there's an FOE here, a field-overpowering enemy. The hunt for parts becomes a hunt to avoid becoming prey. Discovering their monsters have names straight out of RPGs like goblins and hellhounds is a surreal relief. Naming's easy, but Rikudo can't ignore the bigger picture. But why are they all video game monsters? The chilling question hangs. Is this random chaos or a system designed by someone or something? Target acquired. The electronics floor of AO. Sakura practically vibrates with joy, ready to move in permanently. Rikudo shuts that down fast, barking orders. Divide tasks. Tachibana, ISE, support Kuju. Nish and Saito provide cover. The clock is ticking in this silent tune. Kuju is in her element, zeroing in on a memory card and planning an impromptu hardware transplant for Rikudo's dead phone. When asked if she gets off on the smell of solder, her reaction is pure, unapologetic tech nerd bliss. The team is in good, if slightly weird, hands. A chilling discovery. A fresh note with the same handwriting as the convenience store warning. They eliminate intruders. Get rid of the E on top of the head. The ink is wet. Before Rikudo can piece it together, the ground erupts at his feet. His device screams a warning. Heat source detected. Too late. A colossal stone golem rises from the rubble. The golem's voice is pure machinery. Intruder identified. Eliminating. Its first punch isn't a strike. It's a localized earthquake. Rikudo is launched through the air, masonry crumbling around him. So, fast. And what power is the only thought he can manage against this overwhelming force. Rikudo gives it everything he's got, hammering at the glowing core on the golem's chest. The result? A ringing in his own ears and 0 damage. Damn it, blunt force doesn't work against this type. Bludgeoning is useless. They need a new weapon, a new plan, and fast. A blur of white and fury streaks into the fight. Yamauka-senpai's fist connects with the golem, the impact sending shockwaves and shards of rock flying. Saved. As the dust clears, Rikudo looks at the man who just punched through stone. Yamauka-senpai. Is that boxing? This is power on a whole different level. The dynamic shifts. 2-on-1. Rikudo reports the blunt force failure to Yamauka. But it should have a weak point somewhere. A new plan forms. Yamauka cracks his knuckles. Sounds good. 2-on-1. Follow my lead, Kirigane. The real fight, the tactical duel begins. Yamauka moves like a ghost, his fists a blur of devastating precision targeting the golem's weak spots. Rikudo watches, awestruck. Even among professionals, finding someone this strong is a rarity. It's a masterclass in combat, but he can't shake a nagging worry. This is all flash, no finish. The bubble bursts. The golem's counterlands. A sickening NGH as Yamauka's head snaps back, blood spraying on impact. Rikudo's breath catches. This is bad. At this rate, we're increasingly at a disadvantage. The brute force approach is failing spectacularly. Against this rock-tough, bludgeoning-resistant foe, they're hitting a wall. Literally. Rikudo finds a cryptic note in the storage room. They eliminate intruders. Get rid of E on the head. Wait, on the head? His eyes widen as he connects the dots. The secret of a golem's weakness, straight from myth. Without hesitation, he screams into the corridor, desperate. Yamauka-senpai, get back now. But it's too late. The golem's fist slams down like a mountain, pinning Yamauka. Its chest glows with the ominous word, Emeth. Tuya can only watch in horror. But Rikudo moves. His blade arcs through the air with a deafening crack. A blue streak aims straight for the monster's heart. The dust settles. All that remains is a pile of rocks. The rescue team stares, dumbfounded. What on earth was that noise? What happened? Everyone shouts in panic. But Rikudo just calmly brushes dust off his blade. A golem. Why you defeated it? Yeah. His reply is chillingly casual. I just remembered the solution from common mythos. The golem's fatal weakness revealed. Emeth means truth, the source of its power. But erase the E from its head, and Emeth becomes meth, death. A shaken Yamauka claps Rikudo's shoulder. Kid, you're something else. Tuya is utterly in awe, shouting Kirigane-senpai. Their leader has never been clearer. Just when they catch their breath, a new crisis plummets from above. A massive purple boulder smashes through the shopping mall skylight, headed straight for the most crowded area. Kodon! Rikudo's eyes widen in terror. He sees someone shield her, taking the full impact. Saito, what the hell is this now? A one-eyed, amethyst-covered colossus erupts from the ground before them. The sheer pressure freezes the air. It glares at the intruders. The mark, Emeth, on its chest flares with blinding light. This is the real FOE. The enemy. Shit, this golem's way too damn tall. Even knowing we need to erase the E, there's no way to reach it. Just as Rikudo's mind races for a solution, Tuya's voice cuts through the panic. Leave it to me. With a staff in hand, he launches himself like an arrow, scaling the golem's arm. The on its head, right? Tuya's full power strike lands square on target. But it's useless. The damn letter is so hard it doesn't even have a scratch. Even worse, the purple light in the golem's chest intensifies, building into a terrifying hum. It's charging up. This is it. Everybody, run. Kodon's desperate scream echoes through the ruins. At the same time, a terrifying, ancient vision flashes in Rikudo's mind. A mythic battlefield, corpses piled high, a silver-haired man with an evil grin proclaiming their doom. The black serpent will devour everything. The first wave is finally over. Flames and smoke are everywhere. Ranting, Rikudo checks on Tuya, knocked out cold by that monster's beam. It's bad. He has no idea if Kuju and the others are safe. But he grits his teeth. Circumstances being what they are. Right now, we just have to do what we can. The corridor to the underground parking is blocked by a giant amethyst golem. With an injured, unconscious teammate, it's impossible. Someone breaks. We have to leave the injured behind. Abandon them? Rikudo's eyes turn icy cold. He looks at them and says word by word, even if I die, I don't want to give up on anyone again. The golem isn't chasing them. It's going berserk, attacking the exact spot that's on fire. Watching this in the rain, a reckless, desperate idea takes shape in Rikudo's mind. That thing, is it attacking heat sources? A desperate plan for survival. Saito shouts while running. Find Tachibana. Use the flare I gave you. If Koton's group can launch the flare at the staircase, the intense heat will be a beacon, drawing the golem's destructive attention away. It's the only way for everyone to make it out alive. The execution. Koton throws the flare gun with all her might toward the designated staircase. But it slips. The flare plummets, landing in the lower stairwell. No, 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 no. It's all ruined. The plan is exposed. Saito has no choice but to light the flare himself. But instead of running, he turns and takes a brutal hitment for Rikudo. Just go Tachibana. Take Nishi and run. He spits blood, roaring at Rikudo. Rikuto-kun, you'd better damn well protect Tachibana. You hear me? Blood and pain blur Rikudo's vision. Saito seizes the chaos and drags Kodon towards safety, leaving a final, venomous taunt. It's too late for Kirigane. Let's go, Kodon. Lying on the ground, hearing Kodon's fading cries, an overwhelming sense of powerlessness consumes Rikudo. Maybe Serato was right after all? I've given my all since that day, but is this what it amounts to? Just as he's about to give up, a figure bursts through the chaos with a whirlwind of pink energy, brutally shoving the golem away and pulling Rikudo to safety. Kodon. She broke free from Seida's grip and is back. She grabs Rikudo's collar, tears mixing with rain, and screams, "How could you give up so easily?" Her words hit him like a thunderclap. He remembers every past struggle and fight. Kodon's face flushes slightly. The Rikudo-kun I know isn't that kind of person. That you know me? Rikudo is stunned. The extinguished fire in his heart reignites in an instant. Right, we're still alive, and it's not over yet. Just as they find their resolve, the golem lets out an even more thunderous roar. Wait, does that sound almost annoyed at being woken up? Then, from around the staircase corner, Yamauka Senpai strolls out, yawning and hoisting his iconic spear. I was having a little nap. A miraculous reunion. Nishi and another teammate, blasted down the stairs by the explosion, were safely caught by Yamauka Senpai below. Sorry to keep you waiting. Now, let's launch a counterattack. Rikudo's relief is palpable seeing everyone safe. All right, the giant FOE is distracted, but the damn small golems from downstairs have caught up. They swarm through the door like a purple tide. Just 2 minutes of respite, and they're surrounded again. I thought we'd shaken them off, but it's a deadlock. The colossal FOE in front, a sea of small golems behind. Someone is hysterical. At this rate, we're done for. Rikudo, what do we do? Rikudo barks orders. Nishi, draw its aggro. Everyone else, keep shooting that E. Grind it down. By continuously targeting the same spot, we won't last that long. Even so, we have to do it, because we're still alive. Amidst the despair, Kuju Sakura raises a trembling hand. I could do something about it. Maybe. I just need time. Tuya doesn't hesitate. Got it. I believe you. We just need to buy time, right? You don't think I'm just blowing smoke? His unwavering faith freezes her for a second. Why you believe me? Then, her resolve hardens. He believed in me. So, I cannot do it. Yamauka's senpai chooses to cover the rear, sending ISE to protect the girls. Meanwhile, in a different lab, Kodon finds Kuju hunched over a lab bench. She's trembling violently, muttering to herself. Okay then. Purple monster phantoms seem to dance around her as cold sweat drips. The experiment spirals out of control at first, unleashing a violent purple shockwave. But Kuju Sakura pushes through. She remembers Tuya's "I believe you," and calm settles over her like a blanket. A mad scientist grin spreads across her face. Now I just have to pour this into the flask. Success. Hitting that high up is the girl's dilemma. Enter baseball club star, ISE Tota. Hey, that height? Leave it to this baseball club ace. He grabs the mysterious flask Kuju made, winds up with perfect form, and lets it fly. The flask scores a perfect bullseye on the golem's head. But this is no ordinary flask. It contains Kuju's hand-mixed nitroglycerin. The flask ruptures on impact. The potent chemicals inside react violently with the monster's hardened letter shell. ISE keeps running, yelling back. Just made a simple chemical reaction is all. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion engulfs the entire floor. Smoke billows. Everyone's ears are ringing. Kuju Sakura is sweating buckets, trying to explain to a very stunned Yamauka. Ahem. Kuju-senpai? What was that huge explosion just now? There was nitroglycerin in there, so it might have been a component used in dynamite and stuff? Maybe. The aftermath of the explosion finally settles. ISE Tota lets out a sigh of relief, and then turns to see Rikudo, Tuya, and Yamauka standing side by side in the smoke, staring at him with utterly blank expressions. A cold sweat breaks out instantly. Rikudo's gaze is sharp enough to cut. Next time listen to all the words, kiddo. That was one hell of an explosion. The whole area is charred. That was pretty reckless, Kuju. The aftermath of a nitroglycerin stunt leaves everyone shaken. Kuju shrinks back. I'll be careful. But Rikudo's gaze drifts past the wreckage, settling on the perfectly intact emergency exit sign in the corner. Something about that spot feels wrong. Finally taking down the golem chief, Rikudo's crew is catching their breath, scrounging for parts in the wrecked building. Kodon barely manages to cobble together the phone components, when suddenly, a chilling, purple warning hum echoes down the hallway behind them. The next threat is already breathing down their necks. He's completely blown it. Saidu tries desperately to explain that it was all to save Kodon, but she won't hear any of it. The words "don't ever come near me again" cut deeper than any blade. Humiliated and rejected, Seitu's mind snaps. He screams like a madman and bolts, leaving behind a trail of wreckage and his baffled friends. Lost in the darkness of the warehouse, Saitu descends into madness. Consumed by jealousy and hatred, he rages, "Kirigane must die." Just then, an eerie coffin and a silver knife wrapped in a sealed "Don't touch" note appear amidst the blood. Desperate, he reaches for this cursed blade, his last, twisted hope. The price for touching the forbidden is immediate. Before Saitu can even process what's happening, a red phantom materializes and rends him with its claws. Meanwhile, his oblivious teammates call out his name in concern, completely unaware he's already halfway to hell. Something is off. Saitu is back, but he's disturbingly amiable. "Let's go back," he smiles. His teammates are confused but relieved. No one notices him silently trailing behind them, nor the ominous aura clinging to him. They're being watched. Yamauka's gut screams in alarm. He slams on the brakes. The feeling of unseen eyes is relentless. Thankfully, they make it back to the hotel base before nightfall. The familiar lights bring a wave of relief, safety, for now. But that unsettling question remains. What's wrong with Saitu? Kuju did it. She fixed the network. The group crowds around the laptop in excitement. Connection restored. Hope is here. And it's instantly crushed. The internet is a graveyard of despair. Posts screaming, "Help me. We're F****KED. This is an array of hope. It's a panoramic view of hell. In this barren wasteland of despair, one glimmer of hope emerges, survivors are gathering in far-off Amishima City. A path to survival at last. The team embraces in joy. Unseen by them, a figure with glowing red eyes watches their celebration, a silent, mocking grin on his face. As Rakudo's crew celebrates newfound hope, the students left at school prepare to share the good news. Meanwhile, in a classroom deep within the campus, the kingdom of Coach Uyama descends into depravity. Inomoto is pinned down, her pleas mixing with his perverse chuckles. This man has shed his humanity. A flashback reveals the first wave of winged monsters descending on the school, leaving bodies in their wake. Back to the present, the students left behind are starving, their supplies hoarded by Uyama. Hunger twists into rage. Bring us the food. A rebellion for survival is about to explode. The students have had enough. Armed with a baseball bat, they confront Uyama. The coach still tries to wield his authority, claiming he's always right. The reply is a baseball bat to his skull. Authority shatters. Order crumbles. The beast within wins. But everyone underestimated Coach Uyama's brutality. He's not a teacher. He's a butcher. A defiant student is stabbed before their eyes, blood flooding the floor. Uyama stands over him, a sick smile spreading across his face. Bad kids need educational guidance. The school is now his abattoir. Back to the present. Uyama returns to the blood-soaked classroom, a girl slung unconscious over his shoulder. He hums a merry tune, spots the students cowering in a corner, and grins with sick satisfaction. Why are you all huddled over there? For them, the devil has just walked back in. It's Inomoto's turn. Her resistance, her pleas, they only fuel Uyama's depravity. Blood sprays. Despair spreads. The other girls, held at knife point, are forced to watch their friend receive guidance. Fear has become the most effective shackle. Even Hayashi, who tried to stay sane, is threatened with the mangled boys who dare to resist. Uyama wants more than obedience. He wants them to hand over the next victim. He grabs a girl, dragging her out. You're next. The weeping and screaming of the girls becomes the soundtrack of this hell on earth. Inomoto's sanity finally snaps. On her knees, she mumbles, "This world is over. It's just trash." The light in her eyes dies. And Uyama stands tall in the ruins of her mind, reveling in the perverse pleasure of holding life and death in his hands. Wait, why didn't I realize sooner? If the old world is dead, then I can start my own. This twisted epiphany hits Inomoto. Just then, she sees it out the window, her car being driven by someone else. That means Rakudo and the others, they're alive. Outside the school, Rakudo and his crew finally return, battle-weary but alive. The girl at the window breathes a sigh of relief. But deep within the school, Coach Uyama hears their arrival. Cold sweat drenches him. Impossible, they survived? Then, I'm done for. Uyama panics, but recovers quickly. I have to strike first, he resolves, clutching the twisted kingdom he's built and the students he controls. My kingdom doesn't need you. A murderous glint enters his eye. The plan is set in motion. We're back. Let us in. Rakudo's team stands before the familiar yet foreign school, shouting with excitement. They carry hope, provisions, the very possibility of life. They don't know the demon waiting inside, desperate to silence them forever. Something's wrong. Radio silence. The rooftop lookout realizes the abnormality. Inside, Uyama descends into panic. If they find out about the students I killed, I'm finished. But then a twisted plan forms. Wait, if I just take out the troublemakers, Kirigane and Nishi, the rest are no match for me. Uyama's gaze lands on the corner girls. A more depraved idea takes root. Those two top-class beauties in Rakudo's group, Kuju and Tachibana. Imagine adding them to my collection. Kuku-ku. Licking blood from his lips, he menaces the girls into silence. His target list is finalized. Confused by the silence, Rakudo's group outside debates, ramming the door down with their car. Just as they gear up for it, a downpour starts, and the door creaks open. Coach Uyama stands there, face painted with a fatherly smile. Oh, it's you. Thank goodness. His performance deserves an Oscar. Rakudo lists their achievements. Fixed phone, found supplies, and a new ally. I see. waves excitedly at the coach. But look at Uyama. That forced smile, the deep-seated irritation in his eyes at the sight of them alive. It's all laid bare. He never wanted them back. Uyama's smile doesn't reach his eyes as he pulls Rakudo and Nishi aside. There's a bit of trouble. I'd like your opinions first, he coaxes. His plan, isolate the main fighters. Meanwhile, ISE and the others naively start hauling in the spoils, ready to share their good news. As Rakudo and Nishi follow Uyama away, a worried Kodon watches them go. The rest buzz with excitement, unloading supplies. Suddenly, a chilling realization hits Kodon. Wait, where's Saito? He's been missing all along. A foreboding dread creeps into her heart. Uyama ushers them into a deserted classroom, and his facade finally cracks. He rages inside. If I can just kill them, steal Nishi's bow, my kingdom is secured. This is the final step. Don't mess it up. Pretending to search for something, he shuts the door and reaches for a hidden fire extinguisher. Now, Uyama lunges with a snarl, blasting the fire extinguisher point blank into Nishi's face. You inzofa bots. He cackles, thinking he's won. But through the smoke comes a chillingly calm voice. Good grief. My misgivings always hit the mark. Rikudo saw this coming. Rikudo coolly points a finger at the bloodstain on Uyama's sleeve. On the back of your left sleeve. That's human blood, isn't it, sensei? It wasn't their last time. The irrefutable evidence shreds Uyama's lies. Rikudo's gaze is a blade. Uyama-sensei, you crossed the line, didn't you? The judgment hour has come. Exposed, Uyama erupts in a fury and charges. But he has no idea who he's facing. The bullied student is gone. In his place stands a survivor forged in fire and blood. With a flicker of cold light, Rikudo's blade blurs. Uyama is smashed into the wall like a rag doll. The last thing he sees before darkness claims him is the terrifying gleam of the blade that shattered his pathetic kingdom. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the city, a hunt is underway. That giant bird monster is still circling the skies, unaware it's being hunted itself. Look at this. A shadowy figure is laughing maniacally in the dark, seeing wounded creatures as the perfect source of power. This mad gambler is about to show his hand. Cut back to Rikudo's side, and it's no picnic either. He and Yamauka just carved a bloody path through the school, rescuing a terrified underclassman. Monsters are down, but what about their people? Where are the others? Nishitia's expression immediately darkens. Squad members getting separated in a hellscape? That's the last thing you want. The stairwell. This is where the real damn nightmare begins. A wave of monsters floods in from every direction. Kuju is still knocking her arrow. Ise is frozen in pure terror. Want to regret something later? Fine. But right now, concentrate on surviving. Trying to run? Too late. When a monster sets its sights on you, there's zero reaction time. Look, that girl just wanted to hide, and the next second, a claw rips through the air right beside her. But it gets worse. The thing suddenly turns, its claws aimed at someone completely unsuspecting. A flash of steel. Rikudo's blade comes down. The monster gets cleaved right down the stairs in a spray of gore. Are you okay? Igriegajia. A brief moment of respite. But hold the celebration. Look down where Tachibana's scream tears through the air. The lower floors are crawling with monsters. Their escape route is gone. Can't go down? Then there's only one way left. Rikudo makes the call without a second thought. Everybody, we're making a run for the roof. In a death trap, you don't get choices. The only option you have is up, carve a path, and survive together. And in another corner, backed into a corner by despair, is none other than one of the students who stayed behind. Hayashi. Look at him. The monster is opening its maw, and his mind screams only one thing. I don't want to die. Perhaps answering that desperate will, a cold, mechanical voice cracks in his skull. Your job is hero. Power floods his veins in an instant. Power unleashed. A single sword slashed tears through the wall. Hayashi, who was on death's door a second ago, becomes a savior in an instant. The looks from those around him shift, from fear to fanatical worship. I'll protect everyone, Hayashi declares. He thinks this is redemption. He doesn't know power is a double-edged sword, especially when you're hailed as number one. Now look over here. Hellish revenge is playing out in the hallway. Inomoto, the girl who once dreamed of a normal family, has found a bound Uyama-sensei. Want to be a savior? Sorry, in her script, you're just a beast to be slaughtered. We're friends, aren't we? Shut it. You stopped being my friend the moment you sold me out to Uyama. Hatred is burned through everything. Elsewhere, a demon's whisper echoes. You should just die. Another student's mind shatters. Faced with this worst of all worlds, all she has left is a hollow, hysterical laugh. Everyone is teetering on the edge. The only difference is choice. To be like Inomoto and choose revenge, or to be like this girl, completely swallowed by madness. Found him. In a public restroom stall, Uyama-sensei is tied to a chair like a worm. He's still dreaming of surviving alone, building a paradise just for himself. Found you, Uyama-sensei. Inomoto's voice is the verdict of death itself. His sweet dream is over. The executioner and her prey have a chat. Inamoto asks him coldly, "Do you have a dream, sensei?" She calmly recounts her own ordinary dream. Meet my true love, get married, build a family. Then she raises the knife. But you can't anymore, because you went and defiled me. The shards of a dream must be paid for in blood. The blade pierces his heart. Uyama's scream fills the stall. But he hears something even more terrifying. The voices of the students he hurt, their vengeful spirits gathering around him. For the whole class, you all by yourself. Hurry up and die. His final sight is being utterly swallowed by cursed darkness. One stab, two, three. Blood splatters across the walls and lockers. Inomoto is laughing, tears mixing with her manic grin. With this, you've paid the price at least a little, huh? Nothing matters anymore. She's gone completely mad. Or perhaps, at the exact moment her revenge was complete, she killed her old self as well. Rikudo and the others finally burst onto the roof. But waiting for them isn't rescue or an escape route. It's a figure. Saito stands there, a sinister smile spreading across his face as he faces the shocked group. I've been waiting. With this, all the actors have assembled. He's here to personally close the net. Saito smiles and thanks everyone for escorting Tachibana. Everyone is baffled. Escorting? Then, a massive, deathly aura radiates as a giant skeletal monster. A lich slowly rises from behind him. Saito's smile twists further. Don't worry, it's on our side. He tamed a lich. Saito lays his cards on the table. He spreads his arms. The lich behind him proof of his power. In return for allowing him to use my body, he gave me power. Yes, the bug that exists in this world. The myth summon system. He wants to use this power to build a new world just for him and Tachibana. He's not human anymore. To prove his power, Saito shows them the most terrifying sight. He raises a hand, and a stream of blue data descends from the sky, taking root on the ground. Everything around it, even the smaller monsters, is eroded, twisted, mutated by this data. In an instant, the schoolyard becomes a monster factory. This is the creator-like power he commands. Standing amidst the mutated monsters, Saito boasts with a wild laugh. You see, this is my power. I've obtained the technique to control the monsters. Only small fries for now, but it won't be long until I command powerful monsters. Above the city, purple creatures blot out the sky. He declares, as long as he's here, they never need to fear monsters again. He turns, reaching out to Tachibana with fanatical passion. Come to me, Kodon, and live with me in this new world. He even smugly admits that the previous classroom attack and the death were all part of his play, a show he directed to create chaos and take her away. To have her, he's already willing to stain his hands with innocent blood. But Tachibana looks at him, her eyes filled only with sorrow and resolve. She takes a breath and utters the cruelest truth. Saito-kun aren't human anymore. Goblins, slimes, orcs, we've encountered all kinds of monsters so far. That's why I can tell. Saito-kun, right now you're the worst monster of all. Her words are the final straw. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Sato's sanity completely snaps. Dark energy erupts from him like a volcano. A violent black shockwave blasts out from his center, sending all the students try to approach him flying. This is no longer human power. It's a true monster, fed on jealousy and obsession. Mutated into his lich form, Saito unleashes a final roar. If you won't be mine, then fine. I don't need you. He swings a massive bone spear, and with his summoned monster army, launches an all-out, devastating assault on Rikudo and the Tachibana he's protecting. The real final battle begins on this chain-link-fenced rooftop. The fight instantly turns white-hot. A massive demon controlled by Saito attacks from behind. Kodon behind you. Rikudo's warning is too late. Tachibana is struck hard. She slams into a wall like a broken kite. Immediately after, the demon's heavy fist is aimed right at Rikudo's head. No time to dodge. A sickening thud. Rikudo is hit clean, flung backward and crashing hard onto the ground. Motionless. Blood spreads beneath him. Rikudo! Rikudo! Nishituya and Kuju rush over in a panic. But then, he's not breathing. Those unbelievable words tremble from Nishituya's lips. Could it be all their struggle ends right here?